Hey guys, it's Harrison Lilly from THLT Realty. Today we're going to have a little special episode. We're going to talk about listing your house. We're actually going to roll back the curtains and we're going to talk about pricing. What methods are working in today's market? We know the target changes every single day, so how do we figure it out for you? We're going to be talking about marketing. We're going to be talking about different models, commissions, everything. So if you're interested, sit back, grab a coffee, and come take a ride with us. See you there.
Hi there. I'm your host, Alivia Roberts. Between working with the Harrison Lilly real estate team that sells over 400 houses year over year and coaching agents all over the United States and Canada, I'll be sharing things that we know work, not what we think is working or might work, but things that we know actually work. Now, we've put together, if you scroll below, we've got the chapter so that you can jump around this video. So if there's one specific thing that you're looking to learn, you can just jump to that directly. And if you have questions at all, please, please, please comments below and Harrison and I will make sure to answer them for you. Now, if you learn anything new in this video, please hit subscribe and join our growing community. Also, give this video a big fat like so the algorithm will show this video to other awesome people like yourself. And the corny sales pitch is coming in 1, 2, 3. You can contact us to sell your house by calling us directly or going to the first link in the description and scheduling a discovery call. So let's break it down. Typically, every seller wants to know, how much is my house worth? So let's break it down. Typically, every seller wants to know, how much is my home worth? What do you charge? Which is actually part of a bigger question. Should I hire you? Right? How long will it take? Is now a good time to sell? See, these are all really great questions. And you have to choose what type of service you're looking for. Now, this isn't something a lot of realtors talk about. And today we're going to actually break all of these pieces down. Now, when you look at selling your house, typically we have 3 options. We're going to sell it ourselves. Now, this is also known as a for sale by owner. You could hire a flat fee company, or you could work with a realtor. Now, each of these models has its pros and cons. Always remember, it's about what matters most to you. Sometimes we get stuck on the upfront cost, and it's really about the ultimate profit in your pocket. So as a for sale by owner, you handle everything: marketing, pricing, negotiating, handling contracts at close. Now, these things include inspections, contingencies, just all of it. And this is an option, may not be the best decision for everyone. It often feels like you're getting the most money because you're thinking, hey, I don't have to pay a realtor. And yet, for sale by owners accounted for 7% of the home sales in 2023. And the typical for sale by owner, their house sold for $310,000 compared to $405,000 for the agent assisted home sales. So something to keep in mind. Now, there are typically 4 types of buyers. You've got serious in a hurry. They may be in town and they just have a few days to find that house, or maybe they just sold theirs and they need to get into another. Or they'll lose the contract that's on their house. Maybe they have a contingency. Then you've got the serious and not in a hurry. They can qualify, and yet this might be their first time buying. And so they're proceeding cautiously, or they may be looking for that's just that special home. They can qualify, and yet, they may be a first-time home buyer proceeding cautiously, or they may be looking for that special home. Most first-time home buyers who are proceeding cautiously, they want someone to hold their hand, right? And then you have investors, and they're looking to buy everything 10 cents on a dollar. Now, if you are looking to sell your house wholesale, talk to us. We also have a program that may help you for this. We have the renovate now, pay later. People that would, if you decide you don't want to go on the market at all, you just are looking for, hey, I want it under contract. It's more for me about time than maximizing the profit. Well, we can help you with that. And yet, if you're looking for top dollar, may not be the best option. And let us know. We can help you either way. And then there's the looky-loos. Now, maybe we shouldn't even call them buyers. They don't have cash. They can't qualify. They can't get financing. They're actually kind of going out and preying on for sale by owners because agents won't work with them. Now, when I think about these four types, the first type, serious and in a hurry, what makes more sense? If they're going to be out with an agent who has a list of homes on the market, or are they going to be in a rental car trying to find the for sale by owners? Right now, they might check out a few on, some of the different websites, and yet they won't both. Right. So mostly they're going to be working with an agent. Then, you have the serious buyer who is being cautious and they would like someone to really hold their hand, all the way through the transaction. So they potentially are working with an agent as well. And if you're looking to buy a home for 10 cents on a dollar, you're that investor, you're going to call the agent or you're going to call the for sale by owner hoping that you can get a deal. It's very possible that you're calling that for sale by owner. And if we're talking about the looky-loos, well, they can't qualify, so we're just going to move on for them. Two of the largest challenges for a for sale by owner, can you get enough eyeballs on the property to drive the price to the highest possible price? And if you're able to get it under contract, there's a tons of steps from getting it under contract all the way to closing. There's inspections, appraisals, contingencies, ensuring the buyer's financing is moving forward. And those are just to mention a few. So for some people, for sale by owner is the way to go. And we find that for most sellers, it isn't. Now, another option is a flat fee company. Now, so what that looks like is you pay a flat fee up front to be in the multiple listing system. And this is paid whether the house sells or not. So it is a cost that you pay and you just hope it works. And so you upload the photos and then you deal with anyone who wants to show your house, bring an offer, etc., whether that is a buyer or a buyer's agent. In essence, you're selling the property on your own and you're negotiating with an agent that is representing the buyer. So in this situation, you're kind of on your own against a professional. And yet your house is on the multiple listing service. Is hiring an agent. Typically, we think of realtors as either full service or discount realtors. Discount realtors, their main value proposition is purely that they charge less. So maybe they aren't the best at negotiating, or maybe they're newer, or they don't offer any marketing. Maybe they're part-time. Typically, overall commission charged may be lower than a full service agent, and yet they also aren't really investing into you or your house. Now, by the way, there's nothing wrong with any of these options. There's a business model for everybody, both consumers and business owners. Remember, sometimes you get what you pay for. So having a real estate license and being a well-qualified, good real estate agent who has a solid pricing strategy, a solid marketing plan, experience, strong negotiating skills, right? Those are separate things. I actually heard, a while back that about 70% of people will buy things based on value. So, you buy the winter jacket or that car that's going to last you for a long time. It's a bit more expensive. And then there's versus the 30% of the population who's going to buy strictly based on price. Again, nothing wrong with either. It just comes down to what works for you. So let's talk about the full service agent. Now, this is the category that the Harrison Lilly team actually fits into. See, Harrison made a decision at the beginning of his career to run this type of real estate business because he was clear that this was going to be his career, that he was going to provide massive value to his clients and his community. Harrison and his agents, they don't just do this on weekends, right? This is their main job. Harrison runs a business. He employs people to ensure that he has a team of specialists to bring the most value. So he decided to create a full service atmosphere. Now, interesting enough, the proof is in the pudding, I guess you would say. Every year, 60 to 65% of our business is repeat and referral business, which means that we know that by being willing and investing into ourselves to ensure that we are the best at marketing and negotiating and pricing and those types of things, that our clients are getting great service. They are, and they're feeling the value because they're continuing to come back and send us referrals to their friends and family, their loved ones, as well as doing repeat business with us. Ultimately, whichever way you decide to go, whether it's on your own, it's a flat fee service that doesn't help with pricing or marketing, staging, negotiating, or, the agent whose value proposition is just to reduce commission. Now, I will say that if I'm dealing with somebody that their key negotiating skill is drop the price, I just consider how are they going to work with you when they're negotiating the deal on your behalf? Is that are they the one trick pony that it's just drop the price, drop the price? Or is it the full service agent? So make sure that you're comparing apples to apples. Now, if you're like me, you love to save money. And if someone quotes you a lower fee, it can sound exciting. Just be sure that in an effort to save money, you aren't inadvertently losing way more. There's this old saying, sure you've heard of it, you might get what you pay for. The wrong price, bad staging, bad photos, trash marketing, lack of negotiating skills, or a lack of systems. These can all ensure that if you're, to get from listed to under contract and then all the way to closing can cost you thousands of dollars, all while you're chasing the market down. And of course, those overhead costs every month you're continuing to pay on this house that you're ready to be done with. So keep those in mind. What does the commission pay for? And when's it due? Well, except for the flat fee model where you pay up front whether the house sells or not, you pay commission only when that house closes. In essence, right, the realtor puts up all out the money, time, marketing, all of those expenses up front, and is only paid when they do what they said they would do, which is sell your house. So the closing, you'll just hear us say that. I'm sure you guys have heard that. The closing means when the seller and buyer sign paperwork. We're at the title company typically, you receive your proceeds or, basically the mortgage is paid off and the buyer, y'all are exchanging keys for the property, right? That's the closing. Now, keep in mind that commission is negotiable. Just ensure that you don't negotiate to your detriment. So I won't be talking about other agents' commission in this video. We're just going to talk about what we do. Now, by the way, there are many agents that are full service agents like us. My intent, because I don't, and I hope this doesn't feel like a sales pitch for the Harrison Lilly team. There are a lot of great agents that do these things. And there's some things that, at least in Northeast Louisiana, that we do that other agents don't do. And ultimately, I just want you to really understand everything so that you can make the best decision for yourself and your family. And when you are talking to those other agents, you now, are making sure that they can demonstrate these pieces to you as well. So we were comparing apples to apples. We have a menu of services, and based on what it will take to sell your house, the commission varies. See, some things that can impact the commission that we charge: location, condition, price point, time frame. Now, these are just a few of the things that we are going to take into consideration whenever we look at what that we would charge. Now, what we've learned is that there are typically 5 things that are going to determine if a property will or will not sell. So not only just go under contract, but go all the way to the closing table. So we've got number 1 is price. Number 2, how it shows. Number 3, how it's marketed. Now, all of these work in tandem with one another, though. Number 4, communication. And number 5, negotiations. So when we look at, is it priced? What I'm talking about, is it priced for the current market? Markets change, and the market definitely impacts the price. We've seen where people have an appraisal and the house will, even it may be a recent one, and it will go for more or it will go for less because it depends on what where the market is. So 80% of marketing is price. And it is influenced by the area, the size, the market trends, the condition, your goals, deferred maintenance. Does it have a lot of pieces that need to be done? We actually ask us about the Renovate Now, Pay Later program if you have a lot of uh, deferred maintenance, or there really is some big things. So that's an option as well. So having an agent who knows how to help you navigate the complexities of pricing, so critical, so crucial. You have one chance to make the biggest impact on the market, and an agent who proactively price watches and understands strategic pricing is worth their weight in gold. Ultimately, you are in charge of what price to choose. And always remember that price is determined by the market. So your agent will look at lots of data before sharing what price would cause the house to sell. Now, on a podcast just the other day, Harrison shared how he was able to get a particular client maximum dollar. Let's hear how he did that.
A few weeks ago in a down market, they
Yeah.
had an appraisal for 200,000, and I said, I'm gonna beat the mess out of this appraisal. And at that point, when you tell them, like, they ran all their pro formas on, that 200 number, and they're like, well, we know Harrison's gonna charge this, and this is what we'll net. And I was like, oh, I'm gonna beat the living mess out of that number. Like, we're going up. And we went, and not only did we go up from the appraisal, I got multiple offers. We got them over full price, no concessions. And like, that's how you champion clients. It's about being the expert in your market.
Now, here's another example where it actually made more sense to price it over the market.
You took an expired listing in Frenchman's Bend, and at the time, Frenchman's Bend was pre-COVID, so this wasn't 3 years ago. This was 5-6 years ago. You took a listing in Frenchman's when Frenchman's had like 75 listings in it. People were having to give away their houses to get out. They were doing short sales. They were having to cash in their 401ks to buy themselves out. And Alivia got that expired. I didn't go on the appointment, but I remember seeing it on the market and going, house is overpriced, it's not going to sell. And I called you, and when it sold, and I just was, I got to know. Like, I need you to tell me what your methodology was there. And you said, well, I looked at the absorption rate below 300 and above 300, and the below 300 isn't selling, and above 300 buyers are still buying over there. So I went to this specific price based on this competition model, and I was like, holy like, that is some mastery level. And I'm a newer agent 6 years ago, and I was like, putting that tool in my toolbox now.
These are just two examples of why having an experienced agent who is a rock star at pricing can make a difference. Our intent is to ensure that any money you think you might save because, you're told that you will, another agent would charge less, doesn't actually just fritter away because the agent isn't continually learning and studying the market and thinking strategically about yourself. So it's not just about the appraise or pulling comps. It's knowing those numbers and then being able to strategically look and figure out the best positioning for the price. So let's talk about how the house shows and how it's marked. So when I reference how it shows, this just means, what does the property actually look like online? And when the potential buyer comes to see the house, right? That's what we mean when we say it shows. So is it staged? Is it clean? Are there repairs needed? So what happens is people decide if they want to see your house based on how it shows online. So we need to do a good job at staging the house, photography, video. So we're doing the things that are going to motivate somebody to get out of their chair, off their phone, and inside your home. Because when they come inside, they're going to see how amazing it is, and they are probably going to buy it. Right? Same page? Yeah. See, this is what gets sellers in trouble when they aren't with agents who really get this at a high level. Staging can be pretty expensive. And so, we at THLT, we don't spend money just because we like to spend money. Our intent is that our homes are beautiful, that people can be proud of them when they hit the market. Now, some of you already have HGTV ready homes. And yet, if you're like me, you live there. It's real life. So we may need to make some changes. What we know, because we live in this HGTV world, is that staging makes a huge impact on getting top dollar for your house. You want to work with an agent that understands that, and whether they do it in-house or they have a company, like we work with a company that does an amazing job with this to ensure that you are going to be proud of your house when it goes on the market. And it is going to ensure that we get people off the phones and into the house. The next thing is we want to ensure that professional photos and walkthrough videos, all of those are so important. So how important? Well, we tell buyers all the time, if you want a deal, let's find the listings that the agent did like crappy iPhone photos, because we know they're really not marketed very well. So we don't have as many eyeballs on them. So we're going to have a better chance of getting a really good deal. We've got staging, cosmetic, and even major repairs up front if applicable, right? So again, if this is something that you're interested in, shoot us a message or schedule an appointment, and we will let you know specifically for you, what does that look like? There's one thing that us agents can control 100% of it, and that is how it's marketed. Now, I believe you're going to be surprised at how much we do. At THLT, we are very thorough. We have a client care coordinator, and there are other, full service teams that have this as well. Ensure that there's somebody that's going to prepare the property, and they're going to take care of everything you could possibly think of. So it's not a one-man, one-woman operation. We have a team of professionals in place to do specific tasks to ensure that nothing falls through the cracks. Marketing is where we shine. From professional photos to social media campaigns, Zillow, Homes.com, email marketing, and so much more. We leave no stone unturned in showcasing your property to potential buyers. If you're looking to put the most money in your pocket, let us invest in you and your property. We also have dedicated telemarketers whose job is to literally find buyers for your property. That's what they do all day. And this is in addition to what your agent is doing as well. Definitely find out if your agent is doing something other than just using the multiple listing service to find buyers for you. Now, obviously, that's a biggie. And find out how else they're putting more eyeballs on your property. See, a lot of times we find that agents do what we call the 3 Ps. They put a sign in the yard, they put it in the MLS, and they pray it sells. We know prayer is powerful. Ensure that you are with someone who also does the 4th and the 5th P. Proactively prospect for buyers for their sellers and price watch. Now let's talk communication. Have you ever listed your house, or maybe you've heard the horror stories of someone who has listed their house and then they never hear from their agent again? Unfortunately, this does happen. The agent gets paperwork signed, they put a sign in the yard, and then the seller doesn't hear from them again. Well, that actually hurts both of us. If your agent can't or won't tell you what's going on, or you don't know what's going on, then you can't make adjustments to help get your property sold for the most dollars. So we're going to communicate a lot. For example, every time your house shows, you're going to get feedback. Now, if it's shown by an agent outside of our company, unfortunately, we can't always guarantee that you'll get the feedback. And yet we make every effort to get that. We reach out to the agent via text, email, phone call, like whichever one's appropriate, or all 3 when we request that feedback. Every week, you'll hear from us at least a minimum of weekly. We share with you market updates. If we did an open house, here are the updates. What is applicable? Marketing pieces. A full service agent will have their fingers on the pulse of the market. So you're going to hear weekly what's happening. Is the market holding steady? Is it adjusting up? Is it adjusting down? Now, we're happy to do this. We can do this by, via email, text, in person, voice to voice. For most of us, our homes are our top wealth building opportunities. Partner with someone who communicates with you and vice versa. Now, let's talk about negotiating. Negotiating offers can be tricky. There are lots of different personalities involved, right? You have the yourself and your spouse or your partner. You've got the lenders, if there's another agent involved, you've got the mortgage people. And this is why having an experienced agent by your side is invaluable. We'll guide you through every step, ensuring that you get the best deal possible. We work with work with an agent who is selling enough that they know is the market softening. And because you might need to take that offer, or if it's trending upward, we might say, hey, stay strong. Holding is the better option. And unfortunately, we've all had people that the agent maybe didn't tell them what they needed to hear, and they received an offer and the market was trending down and they didn't have them jump on it. And then they come to us and it's 3-6 months later, that listing has expired. And now they potentially could be, having to put it on the market or sell it at a less price. So it's super important that this is happening. And by staying in communication through the entire process, you will better understand the dynamics that are in play in your market. So keep in mind, you're looking for an agent who understands and utilizes everything and more of what we've shared in this video. It's definitely a full-time job, and you already have one of those. So put us to work to navigate all these intricacies. And keep in mind, you're negotiating when you get an offer, potentially during the appraisal, again, during the inspection. Having a masterful negotiator, this is a big deal. Negotiating is an art. An example of this is something we call nibbling. Have you ever had someone who asked for something, you agreed, and then they asked for something else and you agreed? Because maybe it was like, okay, that's not a big deal, and we want to keep everybody happy. And then it keeps happening. So if that happens, try this. Now, if it's if it's something that you're okay with and you want to say yes, and then ask for something also. Now, it can be small, and yet it prevents that continual asking where potentially you end up feeling like you're being taken advantage of. So nibble that. Now, when you do get an offer, you're going to have 3 options. You can accept it, you can reject it, or you can counter. An example of that may be like they offer you a price that works, and yet the terms or the closing date doesn't work for you. You could counter the offer with just the amended changes. Or if it's the price, you can counter with the price. And then the buyer is going to accept, reject, or counter. All right. And that's going to be a wrap. I know I have thrown a whole lot of information out there. If you are still with me, bless you and thank you so much. If there is something that I did not answer and you would like us to answer, please leave it in the comments, contact us directly. And again, thanks for joining me on this journey. If you do have any questions, drop them in the comments below. And we ask that you hit subscribe and give this video a thumbs up if you found it helpful. Until next time, remember, at THLT, real estate that changes lives. Let's go.
Hey, I'm going to put your needs and your goals above mine. Now, if you want to sell it, I would love to be your agent.
Yeah, absolutely.